Good morning, everyone. The government's energy bill rebates are under fire, with members of the Prime Minister's own welfare working group calling for them to end. Instead, they want to funnel taxpayer money into solar panels and renewable batteries for poorer Australians to reduce power prices more sustainably. One member said the government should focus on long-term solutions and prioritise those living in social housing, private rentals and low-income households. For their take, let's bring in Daily Telegraph journalist James Willis and the founding director of Western Sydney Women, Amanda Rose. Good morning to everyone. Amanda, what do you think about this?
Look, I'm not against it. I'm just curious because batteries are like $7,000. They start at like $7,000. So how are they replacing a $300 rebate with a $7,000 battery for individuals, for every single house? So they're saying that every single person under a certain threshold will get a battery to help with the energy costs. And then you've also got people living in apartments. And so it's a lot of money. And don't forget, the federal government already has invested $22 billion in Future Made Australia, which includes batteries for the community. So is this in addition to that? Is this going to work with that? But it's a big difference between $300 and $7,000, which is the minimum cost for a battery.
Yeah, James, it's interesting the people getting behind this, Council of Social Services, Brotherhood of St Lawrence, ANU professors saying we have to maybe stop the handout somewhere and look at a long-term solution.
Well, any handout like this, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, because the $7 billion they've already spent has just gone on to the national credit card, and the next time you get your tax return and you see the percentage paid on interest, this is the interest bill that we're paying off because we're just borrowing more money. Look, I think it's actually a good idea because anyone that has solar panels and has a good system will tell you that they're paying almost nothing for their energy bills. But the reality is they're a lot easier to come by. They're hard for some people to come by. Like, as Amanda just said, to have a solar system for 20 grand plus a battery, which is like, what, 10, sometimes $15,000, unless you're getting that for free, that's a lot of money just to outlay all in one go. So the idea of increasing a rebate and giving people more solar panels is good, but we're in a mess in energy, and the problem is the current system, you give people $150 off, you take that away, the prices go up, and that is going to continue for as long as we get to a stage in this country where there is enough renewable energy.
Maybe we should stop exporting all our gas and actually use
and
it
that's
another
the G word
issue.
is the big one.
Yeah.
If we had more gas
fields.
gas dictates the price of energy.
If we kept it here for the people and say, like, to keep energy costs low, that'd be great, but they're not. It's the hypocrisy of saying we don't want to use gas, but we'll sell it and let someone else use it.
Yeah, well, a deal was done years ago to ship a lot offshore, but maybe open some more.
Hey, it's being burnt overseas. I mean, we may as well burn it here.
Moving on, NAB is set to soon enforce a back-to-the-office mandate for its staff, asking them to come back 3 days a week and team managers 4 days a week. The announcement by a senior executive was met with mixed reaction to an all-staff group chat, with employees sending shocked, angry and even broken heart emojis. That's when you know it's really hit a nerve, James. So after the Coalition's election pitch backfired, do you think it's brave for NAB to do this, or people just didn't want the government to be telling them what to do?
No, I think it's a really smart and a really good middle ground that all companies should do. Like, I'm a big fan of working from home 1 or 2 days a week, and I think it has its advantages, particularly for people with kids, but also there's some times that I've sort of embraced it and said I need a day just to not be distracted and to be at home and just work on a project on my own. But I think people are taking the mickey if they're working from home more than 2 days a week. And I mean, it's so bad for your career as well. And Amanda would probably talk to this as well. But if you're going to work at home 5 days a week, what chance are you of getting a promotion? What chance are you of getting to know the boss, the CEO? You want to be bumping into these people and being part of those brainstorming sessions. Instead, people just stay at home and you've got to call them, or are they off today? It's a ridiculous system. I think 3 days a week for most staff is pretty reasonable.
Does it depend what department you're in, what type of work you do?
Absolutely. You can't work from a cafe, work at a cafe and be a barista, work from home.
Exactly, that's obvious.
But in large companies, though, you know, James is right regarding the out of sight, out of mind when it comes to building relationships. And a hybrid solution is the best solution, because people have literally quit their job job when that has happened, when they've done the mandates, and, you know, cut $50,000 off their wages to go elsewhere because they're saving 10 hours in travel. And to them, they need that with their children. And that's what people need to understand. It's not that they're, you know, yes, you see online people going to the beach, working from home. That's not a majority of people. A majority of people are taking their kids to school, spending time at dinner with their children. That's what the hybrid work relationship has turned into. So, you know, 4 days might be a bit of a stretch, and I understand why they're doing it for managers, but other companies have already done this. So Willis are doing it, but they're doing it over time. So they're giving people time to get used to it, but full 5 days back in the office, I don't think will ever happen. But don't see it as, here are a handful of people that are taking advantage of the work from home. See it as a majority of people have adapted their life. And don't forget, they can't afford to live in the city. They've got to move out, so work with them.
Yeah, exactly. I think it'll work itself out in the economy, won't it? Because people will leave or, you know, take
And it's also unfair because there's frontline workers that have never been able to do it and yet work from, you know, so it's an
all
unfair...
about balance. Who would have
thought?
For
the laptop class, but yeah, I mean...
Yeah, but I don't feel begrudged because we can't do it. And I think other people should be if they can.
Yeah, go for it.
I don't think, oh, well, you shouldn't because I can't.
Well, if you can prove productivity in 4 days, you should be able to have a 5th day off. And there's people in sales and a lot of companies that do that now as well. But look,
that's another discussion altogether.
There have been people taking advantage of this with slippers,
OK, finally, Aussie adults are more encouraged to be playful. We're asked to be playful, everyone. After a new study found the more playful you are, the better it is for your overall health and well-being. James, we'll start with you. You're a playful
James.
guy.
What do you do?
I'm not going to say that about myself.
Go on.
But
go on.
Look, I love playing board games. That's like a weird thing that I've sort of liked in the last couple of years. Catan is really fun. Sequence, they take hours though. But the key thing is you've got to be able to, you've got to be able to touch your toes or stand on one leg with your eyes shut.
Twister?
Oh yeah, actually. Sorry, that Twister is my
It's not
my
Catan
favourite
or something.
game.
It's actually called Twister. You're getting the wrong name, James.
You play Twister. Is that a nightly activity?
I'm getting a message from the
only Saturday nights, but it's
Saturday
it's a
night
good option. Yeah.
In the race, playing Twister. OK. It's called Twister. I think you'd had one too many, you forgot the name. It's called lemonading, apparently.
Oh, my gosh,
learning to laugh at ourselves. I know it's...
So be normal is what they're saying. So we need to go back to being a normal human being, not be stuck on our phones, talk to others, enjoy others' company without technology around. And I know, who would have thought that this was an idea? But the thing is, I think you don't have to be with other people either. So they were talking about knitting. So I knit. I like to knit.
Oh, that's cool.
It's, you know, you're creating something, you're achieving something. So for me, I have to have an output to what I'm doing. So there are things that you can do to relax and have fun that don't require you to play Twister with people on a Saturday night. You can do things on your own.
The instructions of Twister say 1 to 6 players.
6?
You're playing Twister on your own. How are you flipping that little thing?
And that little white mat.
It's very small, isn't it?
Right hand blue.
Yeah. Yep. OK. Yep. Thank you very much. I'm getting visuals of James and the mates playing Twister. Thank you. See you next week. Here's Chevo.